Hey guys, it's Mary from Two Judgy Girls, and get ready for a new season of Hulu's original reality series, Vanderpump Villa. This season, Lisa moves Vanderpump Villa to an all-new castle in Italy, and Lisa is joined by the one and only Stassi Schroeder. To keep an eye on the new and returning staff, the elite staff will face scrutiny like never before as they work and play under one roof. New castle, new guests, and new drama. Season 2 of Vanderpump Villa is now streaming on Hulu.
Last week, we watched Puppet Master, but more importantly, we watched Demonic Toys.
This week, we're watching The Dungeonmaster, also known as Ragewar, The Challenges of Excalibrate, also known as Digital Knights.
I'm getting confused already. The connection, however, is Peter Manoogian. He is the director of Demonic Toys, and he also directed 4 minutes of this film.
A whole 4 minutes?
And there was a lot of directors involved. We'll get into it. Welcome to Oldie but a Goodie. I am your Dungeon Master for this evening, Zach, and my pawn that I should be manipulating out on the battlefield is Sandro.
I am playing the character of Sandy Cheeks. I am a rabbit rogue, and I love the grass.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, that checks out.
Whenever I stand on grass, I get a buff. And,
nice.
But if you talk to me about hay, I'll kick your face.
This is almost verbatim your character that you played in my campaign that just went around and kicked orphans for no fucking reason.
Didn't I? We played that for a whole 2 days.
Awful. You were awful to that poor. You were a paladin as well. That was crazy.
Paladin.
That was good fun.
Hair.
I wish we had kept that one up. I was really enjoying that. But this week we are talking about a movie that has several titles and even more directors.
Oh god, it's got 7 directors, I think.
Yes, I believe it's 7. You've got the facts there, and we'll jump into them for a moment. But first, Sandro.
Oh, what's first?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm fucking tired, man. I'm having a liquid IV right now because I was in the office earlier. I'm so dehydrated because everyone's yapping. So I'm yapping all these kids about the Minecraft movie, and I'm like, and they want to see it, and I'm like, what the heck?
Oh, dude, you should go see it. Apparently, it's very mid.
I'm going to go see it. I'm going to go see it on Thursday. This episode's coming out like 3 weeks after we record it, so I don't know if Minecraft movie is still...
It's not relevant. And in fact, the world's over. I mean...
What?
Let's talk about irrelevant things. Trump's tariffs have already destroyed the world, so...
Oh, yeah, we're putting a 10% tariff on our patreon.com/OldieButAGoodie.
Yeah. You guys are gonna... Yeah, Trump, he's put tariffs on it, so it's going up, Gonna cost an extra $100.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Per episode.
Sorry. Extra $100 per episode?
That's the one. It's expensive stuff.
That's right. The, I did, because when we changed Patreon to, you can buy episodes, I did put our episode on Neverending Story 2. I did make that $100.
What the fuck, you bastard?
I think we mentioned it at some point that it would be $100. Anyway, that episode's now $100, but sorry, it's now $300 just because of the...
oh, no! My God. Anyway, Sandro, we watched a movie.
Did we? I don't think we did, Zach.
We watched a combination of some ideas that had very little direction.
Yeah.
What was your first impressions?
The first impressions on my first impressions on the Dungeonmaster was, why is it called Ragewar?
That is a keen observation you have made, Sandro.
I love these movies that we do where they're really hard to find. Like they're not on YouTube for free. They're very difficult to stream. And like when you do eventually find it, you're like, yay, I've bought the DVD or whatever. And then you pop it in. There's no menu and it's just the incorrect title. And you're like, oh, hang on a second. What's going on here? So then you have to Google it and you're like, oh, okay, that was the name that the movie had in fucking Argentina.
Yeah.
So anyway, first impressions of this movie was it's kind of lame a little bit.
Whoa! I wouldn't say lame. I would look, of all the things I would call it, isn't lame.
I liked parts of it.
Yeah.
It was fun, and it's 70 minutes. So overall, I don't feel like I wasted my time. So that's a plus.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I liked some of it.
Yeah.
I hated some of it.
Ooh.
And I was bored for some of it, but in a enjoying way. Like this is awful combat. I love this sort of way. So, yeah. What's your first impressions on this?
My first impressions was it had ideas and then didn't know how to cobble them together properly. And, like, it didn't know how to do an overarching story sort of thing.
No.
But upon looking it up and learning that it had 7 directors, I figured out why it seems like a jumbled mess.
I don't know what the idea behind that, like,
it kind of makes sense to me. So
yeah.
One idea was, of course, the computer stuff,
and we are going to do non-spoilers and then spoilers by the way, listeners. Just put
yeah. Which is why I'm being as vague as possible about that. And that had to be put in, but then for the first like half of the movie, it just kind of forgets about that for a bit because he doesn't do anything with that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And then for the second half of it, he's like, oh, I could do these sort of things, and he gets some use out of it. And I was like, it just doesn't utilize a lot of things, and isn't... Yeah. I did like the practical effects.
Okay. There was some good stuff, for sure.
Yeah. I liked the non-practical effects. I thought they were fun.
The CGI, for sure. It was fun.
Yeah, I liked the like... teleportation, sort of like, it was kind of reminded me a bit of Star Trek, you getting teleported away sort of thing.
That's true. All the lasers were kind of fun as well.
Yeah, the lasers and stuff, absolutely. I was a fan. I liked the music a lot. Obviously, at one point in the movie, I thought it was fun. I don't know if it was particularly my type of music, but I liked the vibe it was going for, It had a fun vibe, and I was enjoying the music,
Okay. Yeah. There's some good soundtrack stuff for sure. Did you like no, that's spoilers. There's some stuff that the band that's in the song where I was like, what a fucking verse. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Couldn't tell if it was a joke or not.
Yep, I was gonna say that we should save that for... I think there's not much we could say in non-spoilers, because...
No, this is a very spoilery... Well, the aesthetic of this movie is... It's Tron meets D&D. Kinda.
That's the other thing. It's like one director clearly wanted a, like, more future sci-fi look, and one director wanted, like, a fantasy...
Yes.
medieval look.
Yeah.
And they clashed. And that could have worked. Like the idea that you've got like future versus past, magic versus science, that idea could work in theory, but they just didn't do anything with it in this movie, right?
Probably because they had 7 different writers and directors. Because, like, the movie is, like, you've basically got the main character, and then he's challenged to do a bunch of shit by the Dungeonmaster, and then each challenge is, like, a segment directed and written by someone else. And they get, like, anywhere between 2 minutes to 15 minutes to do their own shit.
Interesting. So that makes sense to me as to why they sort of were, like, various, like, difficulty and challenge and...
competency of directing and writing.
Yeah, it's like weird.
It is very, very odd.
I don't want to spoil it yet, but like, some of them I appreciated more than others.
There was one that I thought was really fun, and then some that were okay, and then just one in particular that was pretty terrible, which is funny because that's the one that is your connection, the one that's directed by the guy who did Demonic Toys. I was like, this sucks. What is this?
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later for sure. Did you like the acting? Did you like the actors? We've got the main guy.
I thought the main guy was alright.
Yeah, Jeffrey Byron is his name.
Yeah, he was... I don't know. I think all the acting by the main three characters was alright. I didn't have a problem with them at any point. I think,
yeah.
He does well in his sort of job of main character.
Yeah, he's a nerd with glasses, but he's also buff, and then he's a warrior man.
Yeah, well, that's another problem with this movie, and that's kind of a spoiler, and I didn't want to mention it, but he's torn between being the, like, nerd guy and also being a jock.
Yes.
Like a buff jock. And it's like, what a fucking main character. I wonder what weaknesses he has. Oh, none whatsoever. Because he's like, very smart and he's super strong and other things, you know?
Yeah, it's not really a character, but he's there and he does stuff. He does get the famous line, and this isn't a spoiler, so I can put it in there. He says, I reject your reality and I substitute my own.
Yeah!
As soon as he said that, I went, what the fuck? That's where this is from?
Yeah! It's a great line.
I was like, this is where the Mythbusters thing comes from? And then I looked it up and people were like, actually, it comes from Doctor Who in the 70s. But I looked up the Doctor Who clip. He says, your reality is false or some shit. It's not the right quote. The quote's from this movie.
Damn. It's a power line.
It is.
It's awesome. Yeah, so I guess his weakness is he's bad at being a boyfriend, I guess, because he's not...
Oh, that is a plot point, yeah.
But, like, that's not really a weakness. So his character flaws are not very well defined, which is unfortunate because he's just kind of, like, not OP, but, like, that sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Moving on to the next character, the Dungeonmaster.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about the Dungeonmaster. Richard Mole.
I think he's pretty great.
I liked him a lot. He's like a voice actor, I think. He plays Two-Face in the animated Batman series. I think he's also in Brave and the Bold at some point. But, you know, he's in the main one.
The best series of the Batman line. Yeah, Brave and the Bold. The objective best animated Batman series that exists. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Why not?
He probably plays Two-Face in that as well.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Because they do a lot of fun things where they have, like, people who have played their characters over the years come in for Brave and the Bold, and there's lots of references. It's very show made with love sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree. That one really is a passion project version of people who liked the superior animated series from the
Yeah, exactly. Superior's the right word, Sandra.
He's good. He's a shit dungeon master. Why is this movie called The Dungeon Master? Well, that's spoilers. But it shouldn't be called The Dungeon Master, I don't think.
I would say in several... Because he's making reality. So he is actually like a DM, right? He's just making up shit. Look, honestly, I would argue...
Yeah.
And it is a bit spoilery, but I would argue that he is the prime definition of a dungeon master. Because it seems like he's just kind of making it up as he's going along.
Yeah, that's true.
So this feels like you've come to the session, it's like, oh yeah, we're doing D&D, and he's like, what? Oh, yeah, I prepared something. And then he's just like coming up with these on the fly.
And he's coming up with like scenarios that are kind of shit as well, where he's like,
yeah.
You're in a cave and gotta kill that thing. Okay, you won, that's it.
yeah, right? Yeah. That's like prime, like, I didn't prepare for this session dungeon mastering.
That's true, that's fair actually.
But he's still, like, pretty decent dungeon master when it comes to the, like, mystique thing. So he's doing the whole, like, I'm evil and other things good, but he hasn't prepared at all.
Absolutely he is not prepared.
And so he like, puts these challenges up for the players, and then he's, like, while they're, like, fighting the people, right, he's behind on his laptop, coming up with the, like, last couple of things they fight.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true.
Which is why I think the last couple of dungeon things were a lot better than the first ones.
I agree with that.
Because he's coming up with it on the fly, so while he's fighting the other things, he actually comes up with something good.
Yeah, no, definitely. I liked a lot of his stuff. He's very assaulty in this towards the girlfriend. We'll get to that in spoilers, but and that was like uncomfortable a little bit. But aside from that, I liked him as the bad guy. He was just there being like,
yeah, exactly. I liked his monologue about animals. That was fun.
Oh, where he's like reminiscing about his childhood?
Yes, that one.
That was good. I was
we'll get to that.
What the fuck is going on? There's so much shit in this movie. It's like the best sort of 80s trash where you're just confused half the time. Yeah. What is going on?
This definitely is like, I could see if this had just one director, this probably would have been a lot better.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But it didn't. And so we got this.
It's got 7 directors. I also don't know who directed the overarching story.
Yeah.
Because all of the directors directed the segments, so I don't know which one of them did the overarching story enough to praise them. I don't know who did it.
Yeah, I definitely think someone must have come up with the concept.
Yeah.
And then the concept was given to each of them. It's like, just do a segment in it, you know.
They differ so much in length, though. Like, some of them are 2 minutes, some of them are 20.
That makes so much sense, because it's like Little Shop of Horrors, almost. But not Little Shop of Horrors. What's the other one?
Creepshow?
Creepshow, yeah. Creepshow, or like any of those movies that are just like comedy sketches.
Oh, like Amazon Women on the Moon and Kentucky Fried Movie.
Where it just has all these different sketches written by different people, and it had various length and like...
That's true. I wonder if you could do that for a genre that's not like fantasy, that's not like comedy. You could do like small fantasy sketches.
I think that would be cool. I think
that would be a really interesting idea.
I think having this concept of a guy going through a dungeon, but all the different layers of the dungeon are directed by a different person could be really interesting,
That would be really cool. Well, there's some movies where they have like random directors come in to do like an action scene. I think Quentin Tarantino did an action scene in Sin City or something, even though that's directed by the Spy Kids guy. So,
because what you do, right, is you have one director who's the overarching director, and then you get these other directors on to do their scenes, just so you can keep the main character like consistent. But then in all the different areas, it like varies wildly on what's going on, right?
Yeah, for sure. But the only other cast member to mention is Leslie Wing as Gwen, the girlfriend. I mean, she's literally the damsel in distress for not only the whole movie, but all of the segments as well.
Yeah.
She is the damsel in distress. But, I don't know, the actor was good. I know her, and Zach, you'd know her as Troy Bolton's mum from the High School Musical trilogy.
Whoa! Iconic, really.
One of the best. She's got the best 2 minutes on screen in all 3 of those movies, I'm sure.
Damn!
She's definitely
crazy.
in them. Which means I could have done High School Musical as an option.
Oh, no.
But I did not, because I...
Yeah.
Yes, at some point, but no. Not after this one.
Are you saying we're not all in this together?
We will be all in this together, but right now, we're going to get our heads in the game of some more shit movies that I've picked.
By the sounds of it, these directors were not all in this together.
Oh, they were not. They were so separate. But yeah, she's fine. She's there. I can't really think of anything to...
She's fine. I liked at the end where they go a little Mad Max. That is a spoiler, but I don't give a shit anymore. Where they go a little Mad Max, and she turns a bit Princess Leia and starts blasting people.
Yes.
That was pretty good.
That was fun. She got to do something in that one. I liked that one.
But yeah. Let's dive into the spoilers because we need to. So what are you rating this film, Sandro?
It's so hard to figure out what I'm rating this one. Because here's the thing, Zach. Here's the thing. Some of it was watchable. Some of it was so bad. It's an oldie. This is an oldie. This one's an oldie for me. It's probably the worst movie we've done on this season. Oh, wait, no, we did Rebel Moon and 300. Never mind.
I was about to say, we did Rebel Moon, bro. Rebel Moon. 300 was enjoyable. I like 300.
I disagree.
Because
I had to watch that on double speed.
Because big maximum buff boys.
True,
you know,
true.
I just enjoyed my slathered up boys, you know. But this boy wasn't slattered up for me, so I'm gonna also give this one an oldie, probably. But if I was to rate this out of 7, I would give it a 5 out of 7, I think. You know?
Oh, yeah, no, of course. I agree with this. 2 oldies!
Because I thought 2 of the dungeons were shit, and then The rest were pretty good.
Really? You only thought 2 were shit?
There was only the 2 at the very start that I was like, what is this?
There was 1 at the end where I was like, I hate this. What is this? Anyway, let's do some taglines. By taglines, I mean 1 tagline. There's 1 of them. And you got to give it a thumb up or a thumb down.
All right.
He is the overlord of strange beasts and stolen souls. The Dungeonmaster. Rated PG. I just added that extra shit on at the end.
Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up for the added shit on the end. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
I like that. But I'll also give it a thumbs down.
Oh.
Because it says he's the master of strange beasts, and we saw, like, none of those.
No. Oh, we saw Rat Spit.
Yeah, but he is the best character in the film for sure. Rat Spit. This is like a Fantastic Beasts situation where there was just no Fantastic Beasts.
That's true. There were no yeah.
And I would have loved to see some. That would have been fun.
That's very true. I agree. Also, fun fact, my partner, after watching this, because she watched it for some reason, I was like, don't watch this. She's like, I'm gonna watch it. And I'm like, okay. She looked up Rat Spit afterwards to see what the reaction was, and they named a character in WoW after Rat Spit from this movie, I think.
Wow! So, that's pop.
It's got little references everywhere, not just Mythbusters.
Rat Spit is my new waifu. He's absolutely, he's a bamf.
Well, howdy there, nerds. It's me, Sully McSeller, and I'm sorry that I called you nerd, listener, because I'm a nerd too. I love them comic books. I read them on my phone. Some people say, your phone's too small to read comic books on, and I say, shut up, nerd. I'm reading my comic books. Anyway, Sandro and Zach over at the Oldie but a Goodie Patreon, they reviewed a comic book movie. Here's a clip from it.
For who's in the movie, I think it's really good. But there are characters I would say are missing.
That's fair, true.
Mostly Gambit.
He's not in these, Zach.
Gambit shows up later on, and you know what? Maybe you shouldn't have.
I feel like Gambit's he's one of those mutants who stand alone. He does his own thing. He's got his own comic book. He's not known for being in the X-Men, really.
Yeah, but same with Wolverine. So fuck you.
You got a very good point there.
Yeah, got you good, Grizz. Got you fucking good.
Fucking spot on, actually.
Yeah, fucking slap that argument down. Fucking God. Slam that.
Oh yeah, the movie they reviewed is X-Men 2, also called X-Men United, also called X2, and it's up now at patreon.com/OldieBuddyGoodiePod, where you can be a nerd and spend money, get free. No, it's not free because you're paying money for it, but get podcasts, bonus podcasts. My accent's weird today. I've got a cold. Anyway, patreon.com/OldieBuddyGoodiePod. You can get that bonus episode and put it in your ear holes. You can also get a bunch of ad-free episodes too, so you don't have to listen to this mess of an ad ever again. This is the worst one so far. I'm an American. Yeehaw! Zach, I reject your spoiler-free, and I substitute my spoiler segment.
Whoa! Does that mean we can talk about spoilers?
Yeah, spoiler time. We've got to go through the plot of this one because no one's seen it, and we have to. So
first off, we got a little bit of a frosty beginning. One could call it a low temperature start to the movie. A cold opening, if you were.
A cold open that could have been cut because it doesn't serve anything.
Yeah,
it's completely pointless.
No, but then you'd miss out on the tits right at the start of the fucking film.
They aren't even his girlfriend's Wait, what even? That's a different actor. What is this? She does have a full bush, though. And I was like, nice.
Sandra, you dog, you scallywag.
I was like, it's the 80s. Because we've been doing so many modern movies, not only modern movies, but just.
You've been keeping an eye out. You've been like, where are the bushes at?
Anyway, I don't even fucking know how to describe this opening. He's slow-mo chasing after this dream girl.
He's in a dream. He has a dream sequence where he's chasing a girl in a prison. And the girl, we learn later what it's about because...
Do we?
Yes, because there's a throwaway line to explain the whole computer thing, right?
Yes.
And that's what it's trying to reference, although it doesn't do it. I was on the ball here. I was paying attention. So he has this dream sequence, and it's in reference to the fact that he is an experiment where they neuro-linked up a computer to a guy.
Yes.
And so this dream sequence is about him being neuro-linked up to the computer, right?
But is the girl the computer?
No, it's just... actually, yes. I think it is.
Okay, so the woman's a computer.
But it's also a dream, so it can or cannot be the computer as well. It could be him manifesting the computer, or it could actually be the computer being manifested in his dream.
And then she gets kidnapped by the fucking pigmen guards from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Some shit, and then he wakes up.
But they mix... I'm annoyed they didn't come back.
I agree. I'm annoyed none of that came back.
Yeah, they spent those monies on those, and they didn't have them as, like, Satan's guards or whatever. That would have been cool.
It's true. Anyway, that's a random cold opening that doesn't matter. Ragewar.
I thought it was okay because I learnt later on, but it was very confusing, and you could easily miss that, I think.
I think it got you into the movie really well. Like, it kind of...
That's true.
It got you into the vibe of the movie.
Look, I'm just saying, I'm a big fan of cold openings.
That's fair.
We, as a podcast, are big fans of cold openings. We should support them.
That's true.
Even if they are really batshit.
Just so much slow-mo.
Yeah. Now I know why you didn't like it.
So he's a nerd. He's doing nerd things. He's a
But he's also a jock.
That's true, but he's also a jock. But he's a computer expert nerd. He's a big old nerd. And then after work, he's like, his friend's like, come with me to, I don't know, hang out or some shit. And he's like, no, I've got to run. And then his friend's like, running, my friend, is absolutely crazy. And I think that's the only quote I wrote down.
Yeah. Because at the start, he likes to run, so the guy offers him a lift. He's like, "Nah, I'm gonna run," and the guy's like, "You're a fucking psychopath for running."
Why the fuck would you run, you weirdo?
Yeah, which is very funny. He's like, "I'd rather be taken on a stretcher for work than run after work." Which I could relate to. And
then we get scenes of him, like, running through LA where they very clearly did not have a permit to film, so it's just random people staring right into the lights as he's running around the streets.
Yep.
It's so funny. We cut to the girlfriend. She's got a dance class that she's leading.
This is another, like, 80s classic for, like, softcore porno.
Oh, yeah.
Like, in your movie. Let's just have the girls do a yoga class where they're going around.
It's true, they did do that a lot.
It's a well-forested scene, is what I'm saying. So
I agree. I thought for a second that I was watching Breakin' again. I was like, is this Breakin'? But no, it was not Breakin'. And then we get that random scene where he, like, to further, I guess, make concrete the fact that he is a big computer nerd. He goes to buy flowers, but his wallet is empty, so he uses his glasses to hack an ATM.
Yeah. So vitally important for everyone listening right now. My man, in the 70s, 80s, whatever this movie time frame came out, he has the latest Google glasses.
He does.
With an AI companion from ChatGPT, which is he uses to help him. So my theory, Sandro, and it could go either way, but my theory is he's like a military jock boy, you know? He's not actually that smart, but it was a Captain America situation where he's got a good heart, so they were like, all right, we're going to put the experiment on you to help you become a super soldier. And they blended him with the computer, and now he just but like something, like they got defunded or something. So now he's just like in real life, he's blended with this computer. So he's just like, I'm just going to use this to do IT, but he doesn't actually know anything he's doing. He knows nothing about it, right? Just ChatGPT fix it all up, right?
I just thought he was a nerd who coded a computer. You've added a lot of layers to this movie.
No. He's because they have one throwaway line, Sandro. They have one throwaway line that you could have easily missed, where he's like,
probably
the
did.
The girlfriend says it's like it's like once you got blended with that experiment to get you with that computer or something. It's like one line.
I clearly missed that.
And I've clung to it.
Well, because that's what happens is, like, she comes home and then he's like, I bought you flowers, marry me. And she's like, nah, why don't you marry your computer?
Yeah.
You fucking nerd.
Get owned, libtard.
And then he's like, no, I love you. And she's like, no, you know, you love the computer. You're a big old computer simp.
Yeah, she has that whole thing. It's like, you're obsessed with that computer. If you married me, I would only be a wife. And that made me mad because I'm like, yeah, but he's got to have, like, something in his life that he likes to do. Like, he has hobbies. Man is like a jock, right? He's running around and he's got, like, a well-paying job.
Apparently.
And he's one of the best at his job.
Yeah.
And he's got, in addition, he's got the supercomputer that helps him with all these things. And it's like, where is the negatives? Where's the But she's like, I don't like how you like your computer, though.
No, I think the negative is that he's emotionally just not there because he's always talking to his computer.
Yeah, well, he is a bit of a lug.
Yeah, but I think that's just because he's dumb.
It's possible he talks about his sex dreams in his sleep where he's banging his computer. So, you know what? She might be onto something.
You know what? Yeah. No, look, I think either way, this guy is not, don't marry him. Just don't marry this man. But,
whoa.
He's, you know, he certainly does love that computer. And she comes around to the computer after it saves her life. A bunch of times, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, they have sex and the computer watches them, I think. No, the devil watches them. Because they're asleep and then his glasses, like, fizzle.
Yeah.
And there's, like, green animated CGI streaks across them. And I was like, is that the computer? What is going on? But then they get taken to hell.
Yep.
And maybe it was through the computer. I don't really know what the rules are, but they're in hell now.
Now, Sandro, are they in hell or are they in the hell that the computer constructed for them? Because the computer was jealous of the wife, and so the computer's like, I'm going to convince the other guy that he's going to be with me for eternity instead.
That is what I thought as soon as they were in hell. I was like, oh, it's Tron. They're in the computer, and the computer's actually
that would have been a cool angle to do this whole story in as well, and them figuring that out. Like, the concept behind this has a lot of cool angles you can explore, right?
Definitely.
Where it's a Tron situation or a Matrix situation, you know, where they're in the computer, right? And he figures out at some point, like during the trials, right? He figures out, wait a minute, this is less like a challenge and more like a video game. Wait a minute, I've defeated an enemy like this before in the game I installed on my computer. And he like figures it out, and so he hacks his way out.
Yeah, for sure.
And then like he has to pull the plug on his computer because it's gone insane.
Yeah.
And he's really sad because the computer's, you know, his waifu or whatever.
Yeah, something.
But then he pulls the plug and then he gets married. But then it zooms out and, oh my god, it was still a simulation. It was a simulation within a simulation. And film.
And I didn't mention in non-spoilers, they filmed a sequel to this. There is a sequel.
What?
And then I think it was partially edited but never completed. So it's never going to come out. But
that's
they filmed a sequel.
Wow.
Anyway, so they're in hell, and the bad guy's like, my name is Metzma, but you may know me as Beelzebub, also known as Satan. And I'm like, what the no? That's not, what? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, he's like, I'm Satan, but you can't call me that. Call me Mestama. Not Mephisto. That's Marvel. I'm Mestama. I'm a different thing, and I'm a bad guy. Every 2,000 years I pick a hero and I challenge them to death for their souls or some shit. You gotta win the challenges or else I have your souls. I'm a bad guy.
You're a worthy guy. I've been watching you, not creepily. Don't worry about it.
No.
And I like your techno powers, you tech wizard. I'm gonna give you a gauntlet which will allow you to use your computer and also somehow shoot lasers.
It will allow you to win every situation at the end of the situation.
But also you will innately know how to use this gauntlet immediately without any training or like understanding or whatever.
I'm gonna give you a Kevlar vest made out of tracksuit material. It's gonna look like shit.
And then I will dub you Excalibur? No,
Excalibrate.
Excalibrate.
Yes, which I was like, that's fucking funny. When they said Excalibrate, I was like, now that's a good pun. I like this.
That's yeah. It was pretty cool.
But the devil has probably the cheapest fucking foam sword I've ever seen in a movie. It looked like duct tape over.
It was great.
Foam. Anyway, he's got 7 challenges and he's immediately thrown into a challenge. Paul is immediately thrown into a challenge, and this challenge is called the Ice Gallery.
Yeah, these challenges are weird. And we talked about it before, how they like vary in difficulty.
Yes.
But like I was a bit like this one wasn't so bad. The next one was I don't know. Like
the next one was terrible, yeah.
But like the thing was, he has the technology, right? And it's the whole like technology versus magic, right?
That's the concept.
He tries to explain to Satan that it's not magic and it's just technology. It's the power of science. But
yeah,
Satan has none of it and banishes him off. But then, like, for the next couple of challenges, he doesn't even talk to the computer.
No.
He doesn't even, like, yeah, we have no progression of that character. It's only later on that he starts using it.
He doesn't talk to the computer until the stone giant thing, I think.
Yeah.
The first one where he starts to, yeah.
And I was quite disappointed because I was like, I thought you could have had at least like a 5-minute scene or like a 2-minute scene or a 1-minute scene where he like talks to me. He's like, "Hey computer, where am I?" And it's like in each of the like he could have a little dialogue at the start of each of the dungeons with his computer, you know, because he has a relationship.
Yeah.
The computer never has a character in this film. It just does what it did. I was expecting them to have like a character and he talks with it and that sort of thing, which is implied the relationship he has with it.
Yeah, for sure. That would have been really interesting, but they never do that, no. And they just completely ignore the computer for the most of the movie.
Yeah, the first challenge, he literally just, like, muscles his way through it, right?
Well, the first challenge is they're in a styrofoam ice room, and there's all these frozen people around. There's a frozen werewolf. Mm-hmm. There's Jack the Ripper. There's Louis the 13th, I think. Bloody Mary's there. Einstein is there. And then they're like, oh my god, looks like they've got every criminal in the world.
What the fuck did Einstein do? Like, what the fuck?
I think didn't he help I don't even fucking know. I don't know.
No! You've seen Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah, that's woke bullshit.
The whole point was he was against it, Sandro. And Oppenheimer is historical fact. Everything in that movie is exactly how it happened in real life, Sandro.
I don't know why he's there. I don't know why they mention that he's there and then say they've got every criminal in the history.
Why it's just like they had every criminal and Einstein. But it's funny.
This movie it's not racist, but the movie has a lot of racist stereotypical outfits and shit in it, and there's this like African tribesman there, and I'm like, boy.
Yeah. Well, that's just the first problematic thing that comes up.
Yeah, there's also every outfit Gwen wears. It's all just cultural appropriate. It's all just what culture she's going to be in this.
That's true.
Segment.
What about the dwarfs later on? The short person.
Oh, you mean the I love exploitation, Zach.
Yeah, it felt very exploitative. Later on, I think in the stone one or something.
Yeah, stone one.
You meet some that are just like, I don't know, they kind of like gnome-like or something. And then later on, there's one that's like
the claptrap one. Yeah,
exactly. That's just like kill them, and it's like ooh.
I mean, it was bad, but I thought that was, like, the lines were kind of funny, where it's like,
the lines were funny.
What they're doing? Yeah. Give me the thing. You're not going to give me the thing? I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill them all.
Yep.
And I was like, what is going on? Anyway.
He was definitely the best enemy I think we fought out of all the ones, which is unfortunate that it was exploitative.
Yeah. Anyway, back in the ice gallery, Satan's like, is it cold? What if I turn the heat up? and then it unfreezes all the bad guys, and then they're like, oh my god, we gotta fight them. So we get like 1940s level shit sci-fi TV action scene as they're like working their way through all these bad guys.
I hope you like those, Sandro, because we're going to get a few of those throughout this film.
Hell yeah. Some of them are good though. This one was kind of funny because it was like, this one felt like it felt like a haunted house, like a bunch of scare actors were like trying to
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It annoyed me immediately because he overpowers Jack the Ripper by like sneaking up behind him and hitting him with a big rock. And like, I was thinking, because when they did the whole like magic versus technology thing, I was excited for him to use his like fancy computer to overcome these challenges, right? And all he does is sneak up this guy and hit him with a fucking rock.
Well, I mean, all throughout all of them, all he does is he uses the laser or he hits people with rocks and swords. So
yeah, right? So he's clearly a jock, right?
Yes.
They portray him as a nerd.
Yeah.
So I was very confused, and I'm like, if they had just done that right, if they had, done what I said and explained, it's like, oh, he was a jock, but then he got strapped to this thing, and now he could use this thing to be a nerd, and it's like,
and then they win by Einstein has an ice crystal for some reason, and they pick it up and they throw it at everyone, and then it freezes everything.
Well, I mean, it makes sense that Einstein figured out that you have to throw the crystal at them, right? It's obvious. It's elementary, really, if you think about it.
It's the dumbest ending. To be fair, all of these segments end really dumbly, but that one I was like, what? That's how they got out of this?
It's the first one, and then one after that, you're like, oh, all of these challenges, there's no, like, figuring anything out. There's no, like, puzzles. It's just like, there's some guys attacking you. Oh, you threw a crystal at him. Well, good job. You passed it,
Yeah.
It's like, there's two things you should have done. One, he should have talked with his computer more.
Oh, yeah.
Because then, if he's the jock, then the computer could be the brains, right?
If the computer's like, hey, Einstein might have something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like all of them are frozen except for Einstein. Maybe Einstein knew something or something, and then you go over and he's holding this crystal. It's like, huh. And it's like, you could have the computer be figuring it out, and he could just jock his way through things. He's like, yeah, I guess Einstein probably figured out, he has this crystal. It's like, analyzing crystal. We got no time for that. Grabs crystal, just throws it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that would have been good, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like the action hero. And it does that thing later on. It's clearly like there's some Star Wars inspiration as well. Because later on, it's like analyzed, and it's like the chance of hitting this thing is impossible, and he does it anyway, that sort of thing. Anyway, so he's done with that challenge. He goes back to the Dungeon Master. They have a little chat, and then he sends him to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Which is called Demons of the Dead.
Whoa! And he fights some dead people.
Some zombies.
And then he talks with Rat Spit.
Yeah, he kills all of these zombies, and then he's like, that was done. What an easy challenge. And then Rat Spit's like, I'm a goblin.
I'm the keeper of the dead.
To really get out of here, you have to fight your future. And then, like, a zombie version of himself comes out, and he's like, that's fake. And then he destroys it with his mind, and that's the challenge done.
No, but that's so funny. I mean, first off, that was very funny, because the zombie doesn't do anything. It just stands there, and he just stands there, and they just stand there for a minute, and then it disappears, and the guy's like, what? Imagine if this was done, like, tongue-in-cheek.
Yes.
And Ratchet's like, what? What? What the fuck? Like, he's, like, just astounded. And he's like, yes, I didn't believe in that future, so it doesn't exist. And he's like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. And he's like, and then you have that whole line, it's like, your reality is to die. And it's like, I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Exactly, and substitute my own. Exactly. The person who played Ratspit is the person who's behind the like special effects of like a bunch of Friday the 13th and like Halloween and Elm Street, and I think he did all of the Troll stuff in the movie Troll that we liked on Patreon. So
Yeah.
that
checks out. The practical effects were quite good. Like of the little rat shit. I mean, he's a good little puppet.
Oh yeah,
boy.
he was good. The zombies were pretty. It was just like Halloween store masks.
Yeah. But it's like this challenge just involved him finding a few things and then him disbelieving in it, and he's done.
Yeah.
Although they could have made it like that wasn't how it was supposed to happen, but he defeated it anyway. But they don't do that. They just go on to the next challenge, and it's like, oh, okay. So 2 of these challenges so far, he's literally just jocked. Although, to be fair, that one he didn't jock so much. Like he jocked. He killed all the zombies to get there, which was like whatever.
Yeah.
But then he outsmarted that, which I thought was cool. That was probably a better ending to some of these.
Yeah, it was alright.
But again, they need a bit more like consistency with their dungeons.
Yeah. What happens after that? Oh, him and Satan have a sky dragon battle. I don't know. That
which is nothing. It's so weird. What a weird scene, because is that the point where Satan gets all grabby?
Yes.
Yeah, Satan gets grabbed, and it's really uncomfortable, and like it's weird because Satan like grabs a leg and then like looks over to make sure you're watching him.
Yeah.
It's like, it's weird. It's very uncomfortable. It's like clearly the actors weren't super comfortable with it either.
No.
It was just weird all around.
And then he's like, I'm going to play music from hell. And it's like screams and shit.
So the dragon battle, I just want to touch on the dragon battle for a second, because he uses magic and we get like a CGI spectral dragon.
Yes.
It's like very low quality animated.
Looked fine.
But then our main character does it as well.
Yes.
And there's no explanation as to why or how he can do that.
He's like, I can also do this with my wrist computer.
Yes.
He does this later on as well, where Satan brings up that fire demon face, and then our main character just zaps it.
Yeah. Also, it can shoot lasers, and that's never explained that it can shoot lasers. But as you say, he does like, would you like to listen to my mixtape? Would you like to listen to my greatest hits? I made this, and you know what, Sandra? Do you know what this reminded me of?
What did this remind you of?
This reminded me of growing up with my friend who was an aspiring DJ, and he would make his own music and put it on CDs.
Who would do that? What nerd? What a nerd.
Which was just like popular songs, and he would do remixes and stuff on them.
Wow, who would do that?
Some of them were like chipmunk remixes, I remember, which was pretty hype.
I don't regret it. It was a funny meme.
And then he gave them to me, and I listened to them. And I didn't really have much music back when I was a kid. So these were like kind of the only musics I had, really. So I listened to one of those CDs like a bit. Like I listened to that a decent amount. Mostly on Firefly's remix, I think.
Yeah,
because that song was fire. And so he just did a remix of that. And I remember distinctly at one point, it goes like really high-pitched, squeaky chipmunk. You would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies.
What a great meme. What an incredible meme. Love it. Good memes.
Yeah, spoiler to the story, it was Sandro. Sandro did that.
Me who did that.
Sandro was my Satan giving me his fire mixtape. But yeah, he plays some songs, and then...
Yeah.
What's his face? Main character is like, you want to do that? And he just literally plays music, which is the only so far like legitimate computer thing that I think he does, right? Yeah, he plays some music, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then
I don't know if music existed on the internet in the 80s, but
but then it's very predictive,
yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's fine.
Like I like it. This scene works. And then I like it as well, because then Satan goes, it's like, oh, you like this music, do you?
Heavy metal, ooh.
Well, I shall send you here. And that's also funny in my theory that this is a Dungeonmaster coming up with it on the spot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because he goes off what the other person does. And he's like, oh, that's a good idea. This will stall him for a bit.
And so then we get the segment of Heavy Metal, which is a music video for the band Wasp, who are a hair metal... band that lasted 2 albums, I think. I don't know. I haven't heard of any of their songs. The song that they sing
It was a banger. It was great, Sandra. You loved it, right?
I liked some of it. There's this the second verse is the main guy being like, I'm just I don't know the exact lyrics, but he's got a bunch of lines in there where he's like, I kiss the breast, I'll molest you. I'm gonna hit all the women. And I was like, what the fuck is this? This has to be ironic, surely.
Well, I think they did it for the movie, right? Because the whole thing is it's like a trial and they're going to murder his girlfriend, right? So I thought the whole point was...
Oh, yeah, the band are going to murder his girlfriend on stage, yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, I thought that was the whole point, right? Is they're like, they're taunting the good guy.
Yeah, I think in the context of the movie, I'm like, sure.
Yes. Outside of that, probably not a good song, not one of my top 10, I will say.
But it goes off in the movie. I was like, hell yeah,
but
some metal.
Compared to the other couple of dungeons we had done, this was way cooler,
That's
right?
true.
It was more creative.
Well, is it though? Because the whole segment is just Paul walking through the audience, pushing emos out of the like not emos, punks, I should say, like punk rockers
I'm not saying
out of the way.
It's good or the best it could be, because what should have happened is he's like having to fight off groupies and stuff, and there's like a mosh pit.
Maybe he does his own song. I don't know. It's like a battle of bands.
Yeah, he has to counter their music with his music.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
That's pretty cool.
But no, all he does is he uses his wrist computer to play really grating, high pitched white noise.
Yeah, look, again. I was just glad that he used
That's fair.
the computer, right? I was like, okay, finally he's not muscling his way through the problem. He's actually using the computer.
Yeah. Anyway, next one. After that, he's sent to the Stone Canyon Giant. Ooh.
This was the one I was excited about because I saw it in a poster. I was like, oh, that looked cool.
This one was, it has its ups and downs. It starts on a pretty big down, which is... He wakes up in a field near, like, some rocks, and then two little people steal his gadget, and they run away, and then he chases them for what feels like an hour.
That's fair. That's a fair criticism.
And then...
I think it was, like, 30 seconds.
Well, yeah, I think it was about 3 minutes. I don't know. It was a fairly lengthy chase scene.
Yeah, it was a pretty long scene.
And then they leave it...
Seeing as this movie isn't terribly long, and they couldn't put in a single, like, dialogue of, like, where am I? Help me, computer, or anything like that.
Yeah.
This was an awfully long scene to be chasing around a fucking vertically challenged individual that is getting exploited by the movie because that was the time and era of that sort of thing, aka go watch The Wizard of Oz.
True.
And you'll see it.
The music that plays was like fucking straight out of Return of the Jedi as well. It was like Endor music. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, again, there was a lot of Star Wars inspiration in this, I think,
no,
as
of
well.
course.
Yeah.
So they leave the computer on a mystical shrine, which we later learn is an Indonesian god statue.
Yeah.
Thing.
I liked that the computer did like an analysis thing, and I just wish he had like asked for those on like each of the dungeon things,
And then the statue wakes up and it's got a laser. Oh my god, it's got a big old laser. It's gonna blow him up. Oh man, and then he kills it. He blows it up himself.
Yep. Again, I wish maybe a more creative. Maybe he like shoots the rocks underneath it and it falls over, like...
Or like he has to like blast the leg off and then it's like crawling. I don't know.
Yeah, make it like a boss battle. It has like weak points. You have to shoot the weak points.
I have a feeling though, on this one I can forgive it because the stop motion was impressive.
Yeah.
It looked pretty good and I don't think they have the technology to do anything more, but
Yeah, it looks cool.
It was good.
I liked it. This one, again... cooler than the first two.
Yeah.
Because he has to fight a giant golem thing. And it's like pretty clear the objective and the goal. Whereas the other ones, it's like, what was going on?
I don't know.
But this one, and the band one, I thought we were all right.
For sure. And then, okay, so now he's back in hell, and Satan's like, "Oh my god, you're winning. What if, you can go free if, I don't know, you give me your girlfriend?" And he's like, "No." And then Satan's like, "But what if I give you money?" And he's like, "No." And then he's like, "Well, what if I, 3 hell women, have them?" And he's like, "No."
That was pretty funny.
I was like,
I'm just gonna say, like, there was 3 girls and 1 girl, and you chose the 1 girl over the 3. I mean, math.
They're not real, Zach. They're not real.
They're not real. I'm just saying the math doesn't check.
It took him a long time to decide as well. He was like...
Yeah, no, it's really funny, because he sits there for a minute, he's like, "Ooh, hello, ladies. Yes, I'll let you fawn over me for a bit." Oh, right, yeah, I'm saving my girlfriend.
Wait, hang on. If she's Troy Bolton's mum, and Troy Bolton is a jock, and this guy is clearly a jock and a dumb jock at that, are these Troy Bolton's parents?
In the future, yeah, probably.
Whoa.
That makes sense, because she's, like, rich, right? And he's probably rich.
He would have to be rich to go to that school.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because he's probably doing well in the tech trade, right? You know, with his super goggles and stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's true.
It checks out. It makes sense to me. And they would have had a rocky relationship because of his distracted with the 3 sexy girls,
that's
right?
True.
And so they wouldn't have had enough time to spend on their daughter. So she has, like, a weird rich girl problems, you know?
Sharpay? Wait, do you think that Sharpay and Troy Bolton are siblings?
No. He, what was I going to say? He has weird basketball issues, and he's like, "Go be a basketball person." And he's like, "Nah." And he's like, "Nah, you gotta be, because I want jocks. I don't want smart people. Because that's like your mum."
That's true. All right, what happens after that? Oh, after that is my favorite segment, Slasher. Nothing really happens in this one, but it was long, so I liked it.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know. Yeah, they could have done something different in this.
Yeah. I kind of liked it, though. So he wakes up in an alleyway, like, next to a dead body and a newspaper saying that his girlfriend's going to die and be killed by a serial killer. And then his wrist, or is it Satan, is like, "You've got it."
No, Satan. Which was very funny, because on the other challenges, Satan never gave him a clue or anything to figure out.
No.
But Satan in this one... This is another one of those things that's like the vibe of a DM.
Yes.
Who is like, "Okay, this challenge is different, all right? Not like the other ones. So you gotta do this and this and that." Like, he's like over-explaining it.
Yeah. He's like, "You've gotta go save your girlfriend. You got an hour. You gotta find where she is and then kill and then save her from the serial killer."
Yeah, because the players don't know what the fuck's going on. So he's like, he just has to explain it to them.
Well, maybe that makes sense, because this is the only short in the movie that is not written and directed by the same person. It's directed by one guy, but then it's written by the guy who plays Paul. It's written by the main actor. So maybe, I don't know.
Oh, okay. But the problem with this one is that the figuring out bit isn't terribly hard.
No.
I don't know.
So what happens is, yeah, he wakes up in the alleyway next to a dead body. He's like, "Okay, I've got to save my girlfriend. I got an hour. I've got to go find her." And then cops rock up and arrest him. So pretty much the whole
Which is cool. I liked it because he's like put next to a body.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the challenge is he has to evade the police as well.
And then he immediately gets arrested. I liked all the stuff with the cops. They were pretty funny. I enjoyed them.
That was good. I wish the movie had been more like the cop scene, where it was really tongue-in-cheek. Like, I liked the whole, like... I wish it'd be more like this, because you have these cops who are just regular cops and they just try to get along. Like, one of them bought donuts, but they're jelly-filled. The other one likes donuts, but hates specifically jelly-filled.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Of all the fucking donuts to buy me, why did you buy the fucking jam-filled ones, you fucking idiot?"
Exactly.
And they're like, just arguing. And I was like, this would have been good if this was the vibe throughout all of the challenges, right?
I liked as well how, like, he uses his computer to break free of the handcuffs, but like he uses like a tiny laser and the cops go over like a bump in the road and he like lasers his hand.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
"Ah!"
That was funny.
And the cops are like, "What the fuck?" Anyway, back to the donuts.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Like, imagine if all of the challenges were like this one. I think this would have been like a much better film.
I agree with you completely.
Do you know which directors did which?
Yeah, this one is directed by a guy called Steve Ford, who doesn't have a Wikipedia. I looked him up, though. I looked him up on Letterboxd, and this is the only movie he's done. I think he's an actor, though. He's an actor in, like, a bunch of stuff. So, anyway.
Again, I liked the thing, but, like, the mystery of it isn't that hard of a mystery because he just, like, picks up a newspaper, analyzes it with the computer, and the computer's like, blah, 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 blah. This actress was blah, 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 blah. And he's like, actress. Oh my God, my girlfriend's going to audition. Quick, I need to go save her.
Yeah, the rules here don't make sense because she's an NPC in this situation.
Yeah.
Right? She's gone from a person kidnapped by Satan to, I don't even think this is her. I think this is Satan's, like, version of her. But then she shows up in the other, like, she's in the Ice Gallery challenge.
Yeah.
She's in heavy metal as herself, but then in this one, it's like an NPC version of her.
Yeah, you can have different versions of it. You can,
I guess.
He's a dungeon master.
That's
He
true.
can do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants.
Sandro.
Anyway, main guy shows up to the rehearsal place and the bad guy's about to kill her and then he saves her. And then they teleport away and then the cops run in and they arrest the serial killer.
Yeah, which is very funny because the serial killer is like slashing at the air where they were.
Yes.
Which is like
So funny.
But they arrest him. Oh, it was very silly.
I liked how he's killing people with like tiny scalpels as well. I just thought it was very comedic.
I like the cops' reaction where they're like, "Did you see that?" And he's like, "Nope." And he's like, "Neither did I." Yeah.
All right. After that, we get the reason you picked this movie. We get the segment of Cave Beast, which is directed by Peter Manugan, who did the Demonic Toys, and is easily the worst one in the movie.
Ooh, I don't know. At least it was different.
Was it?
At least it had some stuff.
Maybe the last 30 seconds had some stuff.
I liked it better than the first two.
That's
I will say.
fair. I think I liked Ice Gallery because it was so shit that I was enjoying it. I was kind of bored at this point, though. I was like, oh, we're just chasing a goblin through a cave.
Anytime he used the computer a bit more, I was a bit on, because there is a cool scene in this, which is, so they spawn in Mad Max.
No. That's not this one. This is the one where he spawns next to a cave. And he's like, I'm not going down that cave.
Oh, this one. No, this one was shit.
Yeah. I was like, the Mad Max one's kind of great. This one is...
Yeah. I completely forgot about this one because it was pretty shit.
This one is... So, yeah, he spawns next...
I just watched this film and I forgot this one.
He spawns next to a cave. He goes into the cave and there's a goblin. And then he spends, I'm not even fucking kidding, like 7 minutes trying to figure out how to kill this goblin.
Yeah. And he just, like, ends up throwing a rock at it or something?
To, like, make a cave in, right?
Yeah.
I think.
But, and like, the computer is like, the chances of making it caving in it's impossible or something, you know, which is very reminiscent of the Star Wars quote.
That's true, yeah.
And then, yeah, he throws a rock and it knocks the goblin dead. And then the goblin turns into a beautiful fairy.
Yep.
And then the fairy's like, hey, you could have just left and that would have completed the challenge. Which I'm like, first off, shit challenge then.
Fucking terrible challenge.
You just leave and that's it, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, but doing this also completed the challenge, so you're fine. And I was like, oh, okay, sure.
And she's like, you saved me. Thank you for saving me. Look at my boobs. Thank you for saving me. I'm an angel.
What? And then she just disappears and that's it.
Also, so fucking weird that the guy who did Demonic Toys, which was, like, really weirdly religious as well, like, that was Satan and God and shit, and he did this. I'm like, that guy, he puts this in all his movies.
Yeah.
How about that?
It was weird.
Anyway.
That one and the two front ones. So I guess I'd rate this movie 4 out of 7, not 5 out of 7.
Gotcha.
You're right.
Anyway, then he's back in hell, and then Satan has his flashback story.
Yeah. Which is a scene. But I liked the scene because it added some character to him, I guess. It gives him a scene, but it's a weird... Doesn't make any sense. I don't know why he does it.
Why is Satan talking about his childhood? He's Satan.
Yeah, does he have a child?
No.
He's Satan.
He was... Well, it depends what law we're going off of.
Yes, but Sandro, does this mean he's not actually Satan?
Maybe he's a computer.
maybe he's the computer, or maybe he's just a demonic entity, or maybe he's just a wizard from the past.
Oh, it could be a wizard man. Anyway, he's
Who's
like
passing him off himself as Satan.
I forget what he says. He's like, when I was a kid, I found a cat, and I was like, look at this cat, and I covered it in tar, and I lit its tail on fire. And then he just goes into like more detail about the cat.
Yeah, he's like, it was like dying, but it wasn't dead, and I saw it struggling to live or some crap, and it's just a really fucked up dark shit.
I was like, what the fuck did this come from? I enjoyed it though. I was like, hell yeah, this is so stupid.
Yeah, it was weird. But then we go to the Mad Max one.
Yeah, then it's Desert Pursuit, the final segment, directed by Ted Nicolau.
Which was a good final for it, I think.
I enjoyed this one. It was something different, so...
Yeah, exactly, right?
I would say it's more Damnation Alley than it is Mad
Yeah,
Max.
it's definitely more Damnation Alley. It's not quite there. Because, I mean, the like, second part of it was weird. The whole... It could have been a lot better. But it was different. So they pop in, and he's immediately put next to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it is funny to think about it with the 7 directors, how they've used the girlfriend differently, because they've just been told this girlfriend exists.
Yes.
And so sometimes, as you say, she's there, and she's, like, in distress and all these other things. Other times, she's just an NPC that he has to find. In this one, she's there, and, they're like chilling out, and then some
raiders
come over, and instead of lasering them straight away, the hero just lets them approach them.
Yes.
And then they attack him.
Oh, what a surprise.
Wow, that's crazy. And then they grab the computer off him, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh my god, he's depowered, but then he tells the computer coordinates of where to shoot, and he kills the 3 of them in one go.
Yes, which goes against my jock statement, unfortunately.
That's true.
Goes against my jock theory. Unless he's really good with coordinates because he worked in the military.
Could be.
But again, we don't know. But that was cool. I liked that because he uses his brains over brawn.
Yeah, I was kind of sick of him lasering shit, but...
Yes, but at least this was a way cooler way of lasering things. This required effort on his part. Unlike all the other times where he's just like, laser.
And then they steal their car and their guns, and then we get a chase sequence in the desert.
Yes, where one of them, the short person, the dwarf, who is, as you say, saying, like, kill them, we should kill them, take their stuff. Like, he's following them, shooting at them. And in this scene, we see the damsel in distress pick up a gun, and she's not distressing anymore. She's firing off shots.
So she starts mowing down cars. That was pretty cool. I liked that.
Yeah. She gets a single scene in this movie to do something.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
And then it ends with, is it Satan is in a car? Some random car is...
Satan's controlling the car.
Yeah.
Because he remote controls their car.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy's like, quick, deactivate the remote control. And the computer's like, I'm sorry, but it is a non-conventional remote control. And he's like, Satan.
And then they crash and die. And so, oh no, they lost one.
Yeah.
Oh, they lost a challenge. Oh no.
Was that a loss of a challenge? Like, what?
I don't know.
What?
I think Satan was like, meh, I tricked you.
Yeah, no, he really was just like, I'm fed up with you guys winning this one.
Yeah. Well, because this is the last challenge as well.
I thought they were going to jump out of the car last second, but
I thought they would do anything.
Yeah, but they just sat there and let themselves die. So, I mean, they deserve to lose the challenge, I think.
It's true. But then Paul is like, Satan, I challenge you to a duel with no magic. And Satan's like, all right. So they have a I don't even know how to describe this fight.
they have a fight at the end, which is very funny because he's like, yeah, Satan, I challenge you to a fight. No magic involved, just you and me. And Satan's like, this is some trickery. And he's like, nah, I bet once I'm gone, you're going to have to wait here for 2,000 years to be bored. I bet you want some entertainment. Come fight me. I challenge you. Come on. And Satan's like, you know what? I'll play ball. And then they start choking each other. And that's the fight.
And that's the whole fight, is they just choke each other until Satan falls.
I was like, this is the boss battle of them just fighting? I was hoping he would cheat and then grab the computer last second and then just blast him. That
Maybe.
would be good.
I was hoping that Satan would cheat, but he doesn't. He just falls into a volcano and dies.
Yep.
And then that's it.
That's it. But then the movie ending happens. And what happens at the ending here, Sandro?
When they're out of the computer, so they they leave hell or whatever, and then the girlfriend's like, what an adventure. I like your computer now. Let's get married. The end.
What? What is this ending? Not even that, but like the guy goes like, I'm not sure if we're out of it. Movie ends. Like there's nothing after that. I was like, what? What? Were they trying to do a fake out ending?
I don't think they filmed enough. I think the problem with having this many directors is that they didn't film enough movies.
Yeah. So the movie just ends and then just does like a credits, like B-roll of the film that you just watched.
Yeah, it goes through all the segments and like credits all the directors.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
And yeah, that's just the end of the film. And I was so confused. I thought that ended, because the ending ended so abruptly, I didn't realize the movie had ended. And I was watching these, I'm like, is this a flashback? Wait, there's credits. Is it the end? Was that the end? I was so confused at the end there.
And it was the end. And then the movie ended. And we never got a sequel because they didn't finish editing it, I guess. I don't know. What a movie. What was your favorite segment?
Ooh, that's interesting. Obviously favorite character, Ratspit.
Oh, yeah. Ratspit's the best character in the whole movie.
He's my waifu.
Sure. Yeah, love Ratspit.
I did, as I said, I liked the Mad Max one because they're a bit more creative, but it's also like, of all the scenes to like the most, that one's the like least fantasy, which is kind of cringe.
Yeah, for sure. That was a little bit cringe, I agree.
I think I'll go with the heavy metal.
Oh, wow, okay.
And them singing about grabbing pussies or whatever they sang about. I can't remember.
Man. It was fucking weird.
Because it was different and cool. And I liked that he used, like, sound, which, like, would make sense for technology to make because we have iPods that would make sound. It was very much like a I have an iPod and I've taken it back inside, so I'm going to play loud music to scare the enemy, you know.
For sure.
Do you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of The Never-Ending Story 2.
Boo. Okay, so my favorite
sequel to the greatest film of all time.
It's better than the first one, I'll say that much. Anyway, that's not true. Is it? I don't remember what my opinions are. I liked 2
Honestly,
more than 1, I think.
That's a based take, Sandro, and I will take it. I think you could make that statement because the second one's very interesting.
Maybe we have to do the third one on Patreon with Jack Black at some point as well. We'll put maybe we'll do a...
We should do that, a bonus battle versus the Minecraft movie.
God. Yeah, no, definitely. Anyway, my favorite is Slasher, I guess. I liked Slasher because it was cheesy.
Oh, yeah, Slasher was a good one. Yeah, I think that's a based.
I like that one because it had jokes in it, and I was like, hey.
Yeah, the cops were really good. Oh, yeah. I might change my answer to that one because that one might be the best one.
I liked that one. I liked the parts of the Mad Max one, though, as well, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah. There was parts of that one, Mad Max one, and the music one. I think were all good. The rest of them were kind of eh.
I agree.
And could use some work.
The rest of them were kind of boring. Kind of mid, as the kids would say.
Hey guys, it's Mary from Two Judgy Girls, and get ready for a new season of Hulu's original reality series, Vanderpump Villa. This season, Lisa moves Vanderpump Villa to an all-new castle in Italy, and Lisa is joined by the one and only Stassi Schroeder. To keep an eye on the new and returning staff, the elite staff will face scrutiny like never before as they work and play under one roof. New castle, new guests, and new drama. Season 2 of Vanderpump Villa is now streaming on Hulu.
But now, Sandro, it is time for reality review.
Oh, that's different.
This is the part of the show where I take your reality and substitute it with my own reality.
that
I got from Rotten Tomatoes. Their reviews.
There's not many of them. I'm looking now. No critic score and 19% from the audience.
It's not great. It's a little rough around the edges, you know? But hey, I got some reviews. There were reviews for this movie.
Wow. Impressive.
Half of them mentioned Wasp.
Ah, the band.
Yes. And I was like, what is Wasp? And you were like, oh, that's the band. And I was like, oh, right.
Yeah.
So most of them watched this for the band, by the sounds of it.
Wow, that's... Okay, they've got a fan base then. That's good.
And then they watched this film and they were like, nope.
That's fair, actually. Pretty true. Pretty based.
So,
all right.
Of course, this is part of the show where I go to Rotten Tomatoes, I grab some reviews. You have to guess what they rated them from 0.5 to 5.
Yes.
I'm just going to tell you the review and you have to guess. Also, one of these reviews is my review. So you have to guess that as well. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let us begin. First, Brad says, 3-star film full of 5-star entertainment.
Oh, well, surely then it would be a 4-star. Or is it just a 3? I'm going to go 4 because that's how maths works.
It is a 3 out of 5.
Brad.
That's the one I said was the best review we've gotten yet.
I would metagame the shit out of that character to get him kidnapped. I don't know. All right.
I thought that was funny.
That's very good.
I knew that would trip you up. Because it's 3-star film with a 5-star entertainment. That's 2 stars. You got to pick one.
That's exactly
you went through the middle.
That's really annoying, and very funny. Very funny.
Luke says, Paul is badass and the girl is hot. Literally, what more do you want? Chill.
Oh, that's upsetting. I don't know. Is that one might be 4. That one might be high, actually. If they're like, chill, what else do you want from a movie? I'm going to go for a 4. I think this person's... it's got 19%, though. There's got to be some positives. I'm going to go 4.
You were close. It was actually 4.5.
Oh, that's too high.
Yeah. Because that's your classic Rotten Tomatoes review, which is like, I'm going to compensate for all the bad reviews by putting up my review really high. Right?
For sure, that's true, actually. Yeah, that's a fair point.
So you were on the right vibe, though. You were really close. You got the right vibe. Maybe you get this vibe. The next 3 reviews don't have names, unfortunately. But this one says, it took 7 directors to come up with this. The all-time worst movie ever. Piece of crap. Doesn't even deserve half a star.
Whoa, well then it's going to be half a star. But that is very rude. And no, Snow White is the worst movie of all time. You've got to... That's not true.
Shots fired.
Very topical reference for a month ago. I love when
absolutely
a big movie comes out and everyone's like, it's the worst movie of all time. It's the worst movie of all time. Watch what we watch. This is some of the worst movies of all time.
Yeah, you'll see some bad movies. Although people did say that about Rebel Moon, and I agree with them.
Fair.
So
0.5.
XD, yes, it was 0.5.
Yeah,
you got that one.
Cool. That's one.
I thought it'd be funny to put that one in just after you had the other one. Maybe you might contradict yourself.
True.
Maybe you might go off the scales.
Very funny.
No,
yeah.
You were in there. You were in there. Yeah, no, I have no interest in going and watch Snow White because it's the same as all the other live-action remakes, which is why would you watch this one? Just go watch the original.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
Right. A movie so epic in scale that it took 7 directors to bring it to life.
Oh, that could be the tagline.
Yep, it was just a tagline.
Wow.
It was just a bad tagline.
That's pretty cool.
It's hard to...
It's hard.
You see, Sandra, you need to really get rid of that, like, 90% out of your mind, because that's skewing you over right now. That's skewing you over.
It could be quite high, but it could also be like very middle. But the person said like it's an epic movie, right?
So epic in scale that it took 7 directors.
And that could be a joke, but it is Rotten Tomatoes, and they don't know what irony is. So I'm gonna say it's. I'm gonna go for a 3.5.
Oh, so close. It was a 3 out of 5. You were so close. Right. You were right on. I could see you zooming in. Yep. You were so close.
Almost
you were so close. All right. And then the final one is, where's the ending with him and the computer getting together? I ship them.
That's your review, I think, first of all. Because it's too funny to be Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm also going to say, I don't know, what would you give it, 2? I'm going to say 2.
I gave it a 2.5. I went straight down the middle. It's a very mid movie, but I shipped them.
You shipped them? That was your review. Amazing.
It was.
Wow. And there we go. We've dungeon mastered the shit out of this dungeon, and now I reject your segment and I substitute my plugs.
Whoa!
Because now, if it's time, it's part of the show where we're like, hey, you had to listen to a podcast. How do you feel? You okay? If you need help.
That's great. I love after a podcast when someone asks, like, I've taken a severe injury. They're like, are you okay, man? Are you going to be all right? Like, someone who's gone through trauma listening to this podcast. Yeah. I'm good, Sandra. Yeah, I actually enjoyed listening to this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this was a positive experience for me. Why do you say that?
Well, if that's the case, then would you be so kind as to subscribe to us on YouTube or on Spotify and drop a review or a comment? And there's links in the episode description. Or perhaps if you've got some coins laying around in your pocket, maybe...
I don't.
Digitize them, first of all. Not in a Bitcoin sort of way. Just go to your bank. Don't be a fucking idiot.
Well, I was going to say that's the reason I don't have any coins is because I digitized them.
You saved them all. You did the coin. Anyway, patreon.com/OldieButAGoodiePod.
Yeah, I fucked the coin.
You can go there and
Patreon. Shout outs to that person who bought a whole bunch of episodes recently. That was very cool of them.
That's pretty cool. You can buy episodes on Patreon. You can subscribe and get new bonus episodes. You can subscribe for a bit more, get a whole back catalog, or just buy the episodes if you want to own them forever.
Yeah. And so I appreciate the person who recently bought some. You're a band.
Yeah.
You're a cool dude.
I'm pretty sure our Troll series got some love, so go check that series out. It's a good series.
Yeah, it's a good series, The Trolls.
And we'll be actually integrating, I haven't told you this, Zach, I had a fun idea for when we do the things later in the year, where there may be a month where it's only your options that are happening. Ooh. I had an idea that we maybe integrate Patreon with that, and Patreon can also be picking the movies as well.
Ooh, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, so look out for the future for that.
Patreon.com/OldieButAGoodiePod. Zach, I reject your movie choice and I substitute my own. I got 5. Got to pick a movie.
Whoa! Yeah, 5? Whew. It's a big one this week.
I mean, I cut it down from 6. I could have done High School Musical, but I decided to go for a theme.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Okay, we dodged a bullet there, folks.
Yeah.
All right.
Mainly because if we did High School Musical, then, we would have had to do the whole trilogy and...
Yeah, we would have done... but then also for the next month and a half, we're doing... high school movie-related things.
Yeah, we would have done The Breakfast Club. We would have done Grease, probably. I don't know. We would have just been stuck in a rut. A rut of good movies, actually. Aside from High School Musical 3, I've only watched it once. I don't care. Anyway.
Ooh, hot take.
Oh, but then we could watch High School Musical, the series, the show.
Nope, you've already picked them. All right,
anyway.
So these 5 movies. Are you going to give me some gimmies?
Yeah, why not?
What's your deals? Let's go.
I've got 5 movies for you here. You got to pick them.
I want some years.
You want years? I can give you...
I want a genre. And maybe you can throw in an actor if you
won't
want.
know any of them.
Good. Let's go.
I could give you director.
Sure.
Maybe.
But I won't know any of them either.
Okay. Well, your first movie is a horror.
Ooh, we like our horrors. We're big horror fans.
It's from 1986.
1986. Okay, an older one.
And it's directed by Wes Craven, the mind behind Freddy and Scream and shit. He's cool.
You see, I know the movies, not the man behind them.
That's why I'm going to give you the other movies.
I appreciate the background on them because I don't know names.
Your next movie is a horror movie.
Ooh, something different.
It's from 1986.
Ooh, something different.
And it's directed by Ted Nicolau, the guy who did the Mad Max segment.
Ooh.
Of the movie. That's the connection. Boom.
I'm starting to see a theme. Continue, Sandro.
Your next movie is a horror movie.
Oh, no. Is it from 1986, perhaps?
No, it's from 1991.
You bastard. You mixed it up a bit.
But it's directed by Ted Nicolau, the guy who did the Mad Max segment from the movie we just watched.
I see.
Your next movie is a thriller.
Ooh, that's not a horror.
It's from 1995.
Ooh, okay.
It's directed by... Who the fuck is this? Ian Softly.
Okay.
The director of... Did you ever watch Inkheart, which with Brendan Fraser? He, has a book and you go in the book or some shit?
No, that sounds like Monkey Bones, and I never want to see anything
a lot better
like
than
that
Monkey
ever
Bones.
again.
It's a lot better than that. But anyway, he directed that, so that's that one there for you.
Ah, okay.
And then you got your last one's a horror movie.
Back to the horrors.
It's from 2004, and it's directed by Ted Nicolau again.
Okay, 2004 horror movie. Whoa.
Those are your 5. You can ask a question, then I'm gonna want you to kill them horror style.
All right. On a scale of CGI to non-CGI, we're gonna. What's a good scale? We're gonna have
CGI.
What doesn't have? What uses all practical? From a scale of The Thing.
Okay, all practical. Well,
to the modern remake of The Thing.
Which is all CGI.
Yes. Where do you rate each of these movies?
These are all The Thing.
All of them?
They're all close to that. There's barely any CGI. Maybe the Thriller movie is in the middle.
Okay.
But all the others are pretty heavily practical effects.
Even the 2004 one?
Yes.
Ooh,
yes.
That shows a lot of restraint.
Yes.
Okay. It wins points with me there. Okay. It dodged a bullet on that one.
I'll get some more useless questions out of the way that won't give you any information. They're all below 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, no, they're not.
Yep, that's fair.
No, they're not. The middle one isn't. The middle one's above 50%, which was the horror.
The one that used CGI.
No, that's the horror one by the director. That one's from the 90s. Yes. You cut one.
I'll cut the one above 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's a shame. Yeah, I guess. Goodbye, that movie.
Well, it's your fault. It's your fault you singled them out. My other option was to cut the CGI one. And I thought it would be funnier if I cutted the only good one there.
All right. Give me another question.
All right.
I don't care about this one. I want to watch all of these. So I'm
very good, very good.
Yeah.
If these individuals were a character from Ants the movie, which character would they be?
What the fuck?
Shout outs to our episode on Ants.
It's not that old actually. We did it under a year. I don't know. What sort of question is that?
You don't have to.
I reject your question. No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I
thought that was a bit tricky. You think about that one.
Okay.
I'll ask you one of the. Give me some colors.
I can give you colors. The color for the first one, the Wes Craven one, is I'll say blue and red.
Blue and red. Okay.
Color for the
just like base blue and red.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're very sort of when you think blue and red, those blue and red.
Yeah.
The second one is a lot darker, so that's the horror from the 80s, by the other guy, the other director. That one's blue, but bright blue, and then a dark purple.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
You cut that one. What the fuck? Oh god. The Thriller is green and black.
Green and black.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I like green and black. Those are some good colors.
And then the 2004 one, I'm going to say I'm not going to give you a color.
Ooh.
I'm going to give you a smell.
Ooh.
That smell is musty.
Musty.
Yeah, musty.
Okay, well, counterpoint. Scratch the ants comment.
Okay.
Give me a smell for each of them.
Ooh, all right.
So we got the musty smell.
Musty.
Because you gave me musty instead. I want smells for all of these.
The Wes Craven one smells like you know when like you enter a house and it's got this it's got a not like a moldy smell, but it's got like an earthly smell to it where you're like, what is this?
Yeah. I'm with you.
It's
a little like there's something in the air, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the first one's that. The other 80s horror is like the smell of static electricity.
Ooh, okay, yeah, I can imagine that.
And then the thriller smells like the energy drink Rockstar.
Ooh,
yeah, that's the vibe. It's the vibe it gives me.
That's not good. I'm gonna cut that one. I'm gonna cut that one. I don't want. Yeah, no, that might disappoint you, but I don't want that smell.
What a shame. What a shame. Well, you're left with 3 movies now and only 1 question. Maybe. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah. Because I was like, okay, answer's a bit too far away. But Sandro, if they were a dungeon that you would have to go through, what challenge would you have to do to complete each of these dungeons?
Oh, right. Okay. That's really interesting. Okay. The first one is it's like a doppelganger challenge. So like,
ooh, that's a good challenge.
Yeah, it's like you enter a room and there's like 2 people that are the exact same. One of them's like, I'm your friend.
So what is Satan has split your girlfriend?
Yeah,
one of
sure.
them's your girlfriend. One of them's the fake one.
Yeah.
That's a good challenge. I like that challenge.
Okay. The other 80s sci-fi, that one's like, I don't even know that one's like you're like. It's like you're in the middle of like a power grid sort of thing, and it's like the floor is electrified, like maybe the walls are electrified as well. You gotta like find your way out through
you gotta navigate through the electric floor. You gotta like stand on the right colored panels or something.
And then the last...
Okay, that's got a lot of electricity in that one. You got static, we got electricity. Okay, that's cool.
And then the 2004 one is like, that one's kind of like... That one's more like a combat-related one. You're getting rushed by a bunch of, like, I guess, goblins.
Yeah.
And it's like a wave.
And you have to defeat them all. Yeah.
It's like a wave endurance sort of combat challenge.
All right. Well, Sandro, going by my logic of the movie we watched, the ones where it was just combat were the ones I hated the most.
No.
So I'm going to have to cut that one.
Wow. Going between 2 horrors from the same year.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's the 2 that you started with. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me give you their other genre then.
Ooh, okay. You were excited to give me the other genre.
The first one is a horror sci-fi.
Ooh.
The second one is a horror sci-fi.
Ooh. Wait, these 2 are like identical fucking movies as well, because they're both horror sci-fis. They both came out the same year.
Yeah.
Were they both directed by a director of the?
No, one of them's directed by the Elm Street guy, and then the other one's directed by the guy who did the Mad Max segment.
Yeah, which was also a pretty good segment in this film.
And now, Zach, you must make your choice.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to ask one final question. Sandro.
All right, yeah.
If these films were to serve up a dessert,
okay,
what dessert would they serve up to you before they murdered you?
Oh, that's a very good question. I feel like the first one would be something a bit plain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say... Maybe
not just a dessert.
Rice.
Maybe it could just be a dish.
Yeah, I was like thinking porridge. Porridge was just the vibe that I had.
Like rice pudding.
Yeah, rice pudding as a dessert was my thought as well.
That's a good one.
I think like
That's
rice pudding, porridge, but like plain. Like it's pretty plain. Not gonna lie, it's quite plain. The other one is like honestly, it's a cocktail. It's like a cocktail, but it's got ice cream in it. I don't know which one.
Oh, like a spider of sorts. But with ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit fancy. Ooh, I like both of these. I like the electricity sci-fi because I feel like that's very like flashy sci-fi sort of movie, like very cool, very retro.
Yes.
You've made
Not
it
just because I was like, no, it is.
Like it's got a lot of sci-fi-y, where the other one isn't as sci-fi-y.
No.
But also has sci-fi elements.
Yes, definitely.
You know what? I liked the doppelgangers. That was a cool one.
Okay.
And I like where I put in. I'm gonna go with the first one.
Wow. I was not expecting the first one to be the one to get it, but I'm very happy to watch that. Okay, because that was one that I put in last minute. So once again,
nice.
last minute one gets it. Okay. I'm gonna go through all of them. We'll come back to the first one later, but the second one, which was the other horror from 86, the electricity one, that's called TerrorVision.
Ooh.
Yes, it's about a guy who has a new satellite TV, and then it starts getting alien broadcasts, and then an alien is going to kill people or some shit. I don't know. It looks fun.
Oh, this one does look cool.
Yeah. The horror that you immediately passed up on from the 90s was called Subspecies. I'll just read the description for a couple of these because I don't think I can really describe it any other way. For some reason, it's got 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know how that happened.
Wow.
3 students get caught in the struggle between a good vampire and his evil brother in the Transylvanian mountains.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Looks stupid. So
what was that one
that was
called?
called Subspecies. Like a vampire thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Looks fun.
Oh, oh, these guys look sick. This looks awesome.
So you passed up on that one.
That's a shame.
The thriller is a movie called Hackers. Oh yeah, my connection for those two was it's directed by the guy who did the Mad Max thing. The thriller is called Hackers. I'm just going to read you the description because it's why I picked it, because it looks amazing.
The picture I'm already in.
Dade, a tech genius, is banned from using a computer till he turns 18 after he's deemed responsible for writing a virus. When he turns 18, however, he decides to write another virus. I read that and I went, fuck yes, I'm making this an option.
I will tell you right now, I've seen clips of this movie before.
It looks great.
Because this is like peak, like, we don't know how computers work.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're making hackers, and they're hacking it. I've seen, it's got a picture of them at the phone booths, and I've seen that scene before.
Angelina Jolie's in it for some reason. It looks fun. And then your final option was Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys.
Oh, of course. But of course, Sandra.
Because that was actually directed by, the guy who directed the Mad Max sequence directed Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. So pretty fun.
Isn't that the one I cut out first?
No, you cut out Subspecies first.
Oh, right.
Anyway.
Sorry, Subspecies. I actually like you, Subspecies. I'm so sorry.
But none of them matter because you picked a movie called Deadly Friend.
Deadly Friend?
Which is about a guy who brings his friend back to life with AI. And then she turns murderous or something. I don't know.
Yeah! Oh, fuck yeah! Dude, this is so relevant to today because AI! Oh my god, AI! Oh my god, next week every option's gonna be the connection is AI.
My connection...
I'm gonna do all AI.
My connection is computer genius / computer expert because the main character of both movies is apparently a computer expert. So that's my connection.
Sense.
This looks stupid. Anyway.
Yeah, this looks great. I love this. I liked your dungeon puzzle though as well. The doppelganger puzzle. Yeah. That's a great answer to that question. Can we get a shout out to Sandra over here for a great answer to that question? I'm very glad I picked this one. This one looks fun.
With a fat 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, we're doing a
The posters for this, there's like 10 different posters, and they all look awesome in different ways. Yeah. There's like one on the box, which just has the robot, but it's like anamorphing into the girlfriend, like the animorphs. Yeah. There's like Admission Fatal, where she's doing like voodoo stuff, and she has like cuts with like wires sticking out. There's like the base poster, which has like her face, but like one of her eyes is glowing like a robot's, but it's very like noir. Oh, these are great. Oh, and then there's one with like a smashed window.
Yeah.
And she's like wearing lots of like eyeshadow for some reason. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what's going on there.
This is great.
I'm very excited for next week's episode on Deadly Friend. She's deadly. She's gonna kill ya. Oh no. Oh.
This looks great.
Yeah, I'm excited. We'll do that next week. But until then, bye.
Well, Sandro, I replace your outro with my outro, which is also just bye.
Oh.